Let me see if I can get this to work. Let me see if I can get this to work. Ooh. Alright, I don't know what I did, but I think that might have fixed it maybe. Alright, I'm sorry everybody. It said the audio was on my little streaming app thing, and then it lied to me. It lied to me, okay. Fortunately, you guys didn't miss anything. I was just basically talking about the technical difficulties going on. I'm dealing with just technology, certain devices I'm not used to normally using. I can't use my computer where I'm currently doing the customizing and stuff, so I'm using my tablet and my phone and my mom's computer, which apparently is not working and playing the music like it's supposed to, and I can't get it to work. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. I'm trying to play some Halloween music, but it just kind of keeps playing like the same song, and then it stops and then doesn't do anything. I will try for 1 minute to try and fix the Halloween music. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we'll just start painting. Okay, I may have figured it out though, possibly. My mom's computer is very, very old, and it does not work the best. Okay, I think I got it to work. Now we should be all good to go. I don't know if the music will come through very well, but at least it'll be something. Okay, so I see Sarah, Seahorse Pony, hello. Brittany, Bullet the Dumb Person, hello everybody. Alright, so I started to explain this earlier and my audio wasn't working. So we have two horses we're going to be working on today. This is a little Halloween custom pony thing. It's going to be a whole bunch of different previous Briar Halloween models. Hold on, I might have to turn the music down. It's a little loud on my end. Might not be for you guys. Okay, that might be too quiet now, but we'll just deal with this. Okay. Horse Edits said, how is your day going? It's going pretty good. I've just been kind of chilling, watching the Briar Fun Day workshops all day, and then getting excited to do some crafting. So, yeah, this little guy we're going to maybe work on a little bit. I won't be able to get too far on her because I don't have a lot of the paint colors I need for her right now. But we'll probably start off doing a little bit of painting on her. And then probably for the bulk of the video, or this on the live stream, I mean, I'll be working on this guy, or gal, or whatever it is. It's the Kelpie Custom, which people voted on for Instagram for to be the like Halloween user voted choice custom thing. And this needs like a ton of sculpting on it, so it's going to be really fun to attempt to do all that. But I'll go ahead and set this guy aside for now. And we'll start off doing some Stablemate painting and just kind of hanging out and crafting, and I'll try to keep up with the chat as best I can, and I can talk, or I'll show things if you want to see how I do something in particular or something, and I'll try and make sure everything stays in frame and all that fun stuff. Alright, so how this little custom, let me see, pull up my reference pictures here. It's basically a combination. I'll show you actually the picture, because why not? It's going to be very glare filled though. It's going to be like a little combination of a bunch of different past Briar Halloween horses. So that's kind of what I'm going to work on, is like just one or two patches at a time. Like I'll probably work on the Calavera patch on it, and probably continue on the Twilight Terror patch too as well. Something like that. Just see how it goes. We'll just paint on this for a little while and then transition into doing sculpting. Oh my gosh, I thought Thriller was about to fall over for a second there. Do not fall over, Thriller, please. I do not need you to do that, sir. Okay, so what do I want to do here on this little custom exactly? I guess I'll start with the Calavera area maybe here. It's just gonna be adding some black and a little bit of orange and stuff. Maybe I'll actually start off with some orange. I'm actually almost, I don't know if I mentioned this during the part that I had audio, but I'm really low on like certain colors of paint. Like I don't have like a regular orange. This is the only orange I have right now. So this is like what I'm just gonna be working with for the time being. I do have lots of black and white at least, and this model does have a lot of black and white on it, so that's good anyway. And I don't know if it needs any more green or pink. Might need a little more pink, which I did bring with me. Okay. Ah! Everything all over the place. Emily Floof says, have you noticed that SSO is releasing a Kelpie Jorvik Wild? I did. I feel like a lot of Kelpie stuff is like going on recently. Kelpies are in right now. And Sarah asked, how are you so good at customizing? I don't consider myself super good at it. I still feel like I'm kind of like a beginner, honestly. But it really is just practice, and just trying to learn from other people and such. Alright, first off, I'm going to add just a little bit of pink. I can actually get pretty close, I think, to this camera. Yeah. So, I feel like I need to add another layer of pink on there, so I'm going to do that. It looks kind of rough right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the black and kind of get that all defined out so it looks a little better. So, get some pink going. Hello, Briarheart94. And also, hello, Sarah. I'm also not able to, like, well, am I? Oh, I can scroll up the chat. Okay, so I'm used to, I'm reading the chat off my phone, so it's a little trickier for me here, but. And thank you for subscribing, Amanda Mount. I don't think I have my usual alerts on and stuff like I normally do, so it's not quite as a fancy stream as my normal ones are. Brittany oh my gosh, Palazzo. I hope that's how I pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. They said maybe you can also look up online how to make your own paint so you can do more customs to the horses in the future. That would be cool. I am gonna buy a bunch of paint. I just didn't have any of the colors on hand because like Apparition, for example, is gonna have like a leg on here that's going to be Apparition's color, which is like a metallic purple, and I don't have any metallic purples right now. So I'm just gotta go to the store soon and buy a bunch of paints. But what the dumb person said while I watch, I should probably fix my tail for my Halloween costume because it broke. Oh no! Hopefully it's an easy fix. I actually still need to repair one of my Halloween costumes, and I was gonna do it 2 weeks ago, but I got stressed out and was like, nah, we're just going to use a different costume instead. Briarheart94 said, what's your plan on the design? So it's going to be kind of like a cross between other what am I saying? Other oh my gosh, I can't speak. Other Briar Halloween horses, like Twilight Terror, Poltergeist, all of like their past releases. But it's going to be done in like a Frankensteed style, so there's just going to be like patches of different horses all kind of mixed in. Right now it just kind of looks a little weird because it's just got not too much progress so far, but it'll look hopefully pretty cool when it's done. I'm kind of just focusing on a couple patches of the different designs at a time, so hopefully I don't get too overwhelmed here on trying to do it all. I'm also not going to try too hard to be like crazy perfect on it because I tend to go a little overboard on trying to be a perfectionist on different things, and I'm trying not to do that as much. I'm trying to let myself just say, okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, I just need to do it Because sometimes if I get too much of a perfectionist about things, I end up not ever doing any projects because I'm worried about messing them up. So I'm trying to be better about that. That's going to be a big lesson for me in doing the Kelpie custom, because there's like so much I've never done before when it comes to sculpting with that model, but I'm just gonna have to go ahead and jump in and do it, and just however it turns out, it turns out. Grey Ghost Briar said I did a Halloween collector's class for my show earlier. Ooh, that's super fun. We got to go to a show, and I'm so excited about it. That is awesome. I really miss doing model horse shows. It's been forever since I've done one, but maybe next year I'll be able to do one. Okay, we'll let that dry a bit there. I guess I can start in some more blue here on the other part. And, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your name right, but I'll try my best. On Acorn said, did anyone else do the Briar tutorials this morning? I sure did, and I loved them. They were so much fun. I mean, I didn't actually like do the tutorials and follow along. I just really did not have the time, really, and I was planning on doing these projects today instead. But I really enjoyed watching them, and I always get really inspired watching the different Briar workshops and stuff. It's kind of just, I don't know, kind of motivating and inspiring to watch other people work on their models. BriarHurt94 said, I've made a mistake in the process of coming up with a great imaginative idea, and how it looks awful in the horse. How many of these stablemates are you going to customize? I'm just doing the one stablemate for now. Maybe I'll do more in the future. Also, I'm not entirely sure what you meant about having an imagined idea and it not turning out right, I think is what you're kind of saying. I have that like all the time. I'll have an idea in my head of something to draw especially, and it just will not come out right when I actually start working on it. Alright, and for this part I'm just kind of doing like these little thin layers of blue just to kind of cover up the white here. It's definitely in the ugly stages right now. That's something else too when you work on customizing or art or pretty much anything, is realize that you're gonna sometimes be in the ugly stages for a while, and you just kind of have to go through that and know that it's gonna end up looking better. You just gotta keep working at it. Ooh, on Acorn, I'm so sorry if that's not how you say your name, or on Acorn, they said they did a skeleton horse. That is so awesome. The skeleton horse workshop was really cool. Hello, Forever Briars. Oh, and they said they did it like a unicorn. That's awesome. Sarah said, so what do you think of the holiday collection for Briar this year? I do actually like a lot the Christmas holiday horse, Grandeur, or whatever his name is. I think he's really cool. I'm not crazy about really any of the ornaments this year, but I usually don't buy too many of the Briar ornaments anyway. I do like the little craft kits they're coming out with though. I think those are a really fun idea. Ooh, this paint is getting old. I can hear it in the bottle when I'm shaking it up. It's just like getting old. All of my paint is pretty much old. I only have like a few bottles that I bought like this year. All of them are just pretty old. I need to upgrade and get new paints so that they'll be easier to work with. And BriarHort94 said, what I meant to say, you're correct, what I meant to say was when you coming up in general with an idea that it's so out of the box for the horse mentally, it sometimes doesn't always come out to the plan as you expected. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I'm not even sure how these two customs are going to turn out, if they're going to come out how I hope they will, or what will happen. Alright, let me get my reference picture moved up closer here because I can't hardly see it. I'm looking at it on my tablet, which is not the best. I really probably should have printed out some pictures ahead of time. Alright, so I'm going to try and work in a little black here. Ooh, I'm just worried about messing up the colors I already did. Oh, did I not do enough water? I did not. You usually have to always water down your paints, even though it gets annoying because you have to do a ton of layers on them. At least with black, it does not take very many layers at all to fill out the horse. Ooh, this is very nerve-wracking for me. It's the little tiny spaces and details that get me like nervous of messing up. Okay, that's not too bad. All right. I practically like hold my breath sometimes when I'm doing the paints and such. Briar94 said, "Do you have a base background color to tie in all the themes you want to put on the horse?" Not exactly. I guess I'd say mostly black. There's a lot of black that's going to end up going on this model, so I think that'll kind of pull them all together. And they also asked, will you keep or sell this custom stablemate? I'm not really sure. I'll have to just kind of see how I feel about it when I'm done. Same thing actually goes for the Kelpie. I haven't decided if I'll keep it or not. It kind of just going to depend on how I kind of feel about it afterwards. I tend to notice that if I like focus too much on keeping a custom or selling a custom, that just kind of messes me up when I'm actually working on it. So I've decided I'm just gonna not worry about that and just worry about afterwards whether or not it'll be something I keep or not. I might have to switch to a smaller brush here in a minute. These like flower designs on Calavera are kind of hard to replicate. And I don't know actually where my own Calavera model is. It's somewhere, and he's like still in his box actually, but I didn't really have him handy to pull him out for this video, for this live stream, whatever this is. Okay, I'm gonna have to switch to a smaller brush here. This is getting too complicated. Although actually this is my smallest brush I have on hand right now. Okay, we're just gonna have to keep working with it then. I believe I do have some smaller brushes somewhere, but I don't really feel like getting them right now. Briar94 said watering down your paints is something I always took as a skip, because always cocky about working with thick paints. I understand. It is definitely something you want to fix a bit. Oh, someone said the camera's a bit blurry. I'm sorry. It might be might not be focusing right when I hold the model up. I'll try to make sure it focuses better. Yeah, it's like It's a little hard to like, well, just in general here. Trying to customize or like do any crafty, sculpty, anything is a little hard to do on camera because you tend to move the model or something out of the way of the camera when you're working on it and don't realize it. Oh my gosh, these flower designs are just kind of really tricky to get the right shapes of them down. So I'm trying to slowly like take away parts of the pink and the green with the black, but actually getting it to make the right shapes and stuff is tricky. That's kind of a method I tend to use a lot. I've noticed with painting, like if there's something that's really small and detailed, sometimes it's easier to use a brush, like putting it down, but then sometimes it's easier to kind of like do a negative of it in a way and like paint the color of the thing first and then go back in with the color that goes around it and kind of refine it better that way. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure it's in focus there for you guys. I am glad I decided to do this particular live stream this day though, because I did feel very inspired watching all the Briar workshops this morning. I felt like doing lots of crafting and even came up with more ideas of things to make in the future and whatnot. Alright, it's starting to look a little more kind of defined and such. Sarah said, how was Briarfest? Briarfest was a lot of fun, and that was a little while ago now already, wasn't it? It feels like it wasn't very long ago, but then when you actually think about it, it's like, oh, that was a few months ago now already. I think it's because we all received our Briarfest stuff so late that Briarfest kind of felt like it lasted a very long time. I really did enjoy like watching all the live streams and all the workshops and all that for Briarfest this year. Super fun. Oh boy, I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that these little flowers are not gonna look very exact to Calavera's pretty little flowers. They're just gonna be kind of vaguely similar. Because I'm gonna go crazy if I try to like actually make them near perfect little recreations. That's okay. We want to give it maybe a little bit of our own flair and stuff here anyway. Oh my gosh, it's kind of warm today, unfortunately. It's been cold all week. Or not really cold. For most people they're like, what? That's not cold, but it's been in the 70s all week, and then today is the day, or yesterday and today is the day it decides to get hot again. So my paints are drying out a little quickly here. I really probably should be using my smaller brush here. I might quickly go look for it in a sec, because this is a little tricky. just kind of went over a little too much on the green there. That's okay, I'll fix that up later. That's another thing I suggest if you're like having a hard time starting customizing or something. Just kind of accept that usually if you make a mistake, you can fix it. No matter how big or small, technically you can always fix a mistake. Ooh, this is the part that's going to get tricky here in the neck area. Sarah said, I don't play SSO, but I got a book from their book series. Do you have any of their books? Actually, I do. I have their, all 3 of the first books, I believe. Because they sent some of them to me when I was a Star Stable ambassador before. And did I finish the first one? I think I only got like halfway through the first one. And it was really good though, I really like it. I've been really behind on trying to read stuff like that. But their books are really good. I think even if you don't play Star Stable, you can find enjoyment in them and just enjoy them as horse books. But what the dumb person said, I haven't even got most of my Briarfest stuff yet. I only got Danny and Dada so far. Oh no, I hope you get the rest of it soon. If you haven't yet, try to call their customer service. And, like, if you have to kind of bug them, you have to kind of bug them sometimes, because it kind of depends on who you get. Some people, or some of the, one of the customer service people, she was super nice when I talked to her and got something I had an issue with fixed, like, right away. And is, hopefully by next year they'll get their warehouse stuff and everything sorted out a lot better, and Briarfest stuff will go a lot smoother. This year was just kind of a mess. Okay, we're actually getting somewhere here. It looks a little bit more like Calavera there. I might have to do probably at least another layer of black and then kind of clean up the edges a little bit more, especially on that little spot of green I got some black on, but that's something anyway. And it technically has a little bit of orange in the flowers, which I might attempt to do. I might not do it with the paint I currently have though, because I think this neon orange stuff is like super, what's the word? Super thin, like super transparent and stuff. I'll check real quick, but I don't think it's gonna work. Briarheart94 said, since I'm older, in my 20s, I didn't decide on customizing horses when my kids get a little bit older. Definitely going to take paint layers more seriously. Yeah, I think it's something you just kind of have to practice and get used to after a long time too. I mean, I have so many pictures and stuff when I was painting even before in art school and stuff. Not art school, but like taking art classes. And I just globbed that paint on. I did not start doing layers for a very long time. Okay, let's see. How is this paint looking? It's kind of thin and stuff, yeah. So I'm not going to use this on the little flower parts because I think it's not going to look right. I am going to put maybe a layer of this on the mane for now. I do need yellow too. I don't have any yellows, I don't think, left. I'm just really low on paints, unfortunately, for this particular custom. But we'll go ahead and put a little orange on the mane anyway, just so it looks a little bit even more like Calavera. Ooh, what is up with this brush? It is like funky. Oh, and I'm sorry if I get out of the frame there and stuff. I'm going to try to do my best to not do that. Oh yeah, this paint is very thin. This is a very fun, bright neon orange, though. I'm liking how it's kind of looking so far there. All right, so there we got more of a Calavera thing going on. That's pretty fun. All right, now I think I am gonna go see if I can grab a smaller brush. I know where they're at. I just gotta go get them, I think. And I might also grab my water bottle, which I left in the other room. But then I'll go back and we'll maybe work a little more on the Twilight Terror part of this model and see how things go from there. Woo! And hello, the Star Warrior Horse. Thank you for joining. Rogue Wolf asked, do past YouTube posts count for that section? Not sure what you're talking about, but if you want to clarify and let me know, I'll happy to answer when I get back. So I'll be back in like a minute or so. It shouldn't take me long here. I'll set my little random thing I made this morning. Okay, be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back with more brushes. So surely I have something here that'll work better. Let's see. Oh, here's a funny brush, by the way. You can tell I've used this brush a lot because it does not have bristles anymore. And I've kind of kept it because I think I'm going to put it with like my sculpting tools to use for sculpting, but it used to be a really tiny little brush and I'd use it all the time. I used it so much that all the bristles fell out of it. And I just let that get in the paint. That's fun. Ugh. Already making a mess. Okay. This might be the smallest one I have. Yep, that is the smallest one I have. Even that doesn't feel big enough. I got these on like Amazon, by the way. These like pack of a whole bunch of different brush sizes and stuff. They work pretty good. I think they're pretty cheap. Oh, and Rogue Wolf was asking about the required amount to get for the YouTube posts to enter for Eek. What was the first part of your thing again? YouTube past YouTube posts count. Oh, you don't have to do any YouTube posts yourself. You just have to click on when you click on the link, it'll say a thing to YouTube. You just click it, and then that automatically counts as 3 entries, I believe. You don't have to do anything else for it. It's pretty easy, and the questionnaire parts are just also pretty easy, and you don't have to put too much thought or effort into them. I just thought they were kind of fun little questions to ask and gauge for future things. Alright, so let's see, let's try doing some Twilight Terror action on this little guy. If I can find my picture of Twilight Terror here. The funny thing is, it would be better if I actually just had these models on hand to look at them, but they're like all packed away right now, so it's hard to pull them out. Alright, let's actually start with this. So there's a spooky tree here on the little Twilight Terror section. And when I realized I didn't mention either, I was speaking of Rogue Wolf asking about the giveaway. There is a giveaway right now for Eek, and I put the link in the description of this live stream. You just go to that and you can get up to 5 entries by just clicking the link to my YouTube channel and then answering 2 different question things. And then that's all you need to do, and you'll get entered for the chance to win Eek. And I'll be doing the drawing for Eek tomorrow during the Battle of the Models Live. And if you can't make it, don't worry. If you get drawn, you'll still be the winner for it and stuff. But I just thought it'd be fun to actually draw the winner during a live stream. And that's going to be super fun. I'm very, very excited for the Battle of the Models tomorrow, because it's going to be all Halloween horses. And I have no idea what's going to happen, which models are going to win. I'm not really sure like what everybody's overall favorite Halloween models are going to end up being and such. Alright, again, I'm going to force myself not for this to be a complete, like, one-to-one copy of Twilight Terror on this section, and just say, you know what, it's going to be a spooky tree, it's not going to be exactly the same, but as long as you get the idea, then that's good enough. Oh, and Grey Ghost Briars said, hi, I'm back. Welcome back. And hello, Winter Studio. And the Star Warrior Horse asked, what's your favorite Halloween-themed or thriller horror movie? That's a good question. I've already been thinking, what would my own favorite Halloween or kind of Halloween-themed movie be? And I think it kind of depends. Like, if I'm in kind of more of the family-friendly kind of mood, and then I'd say probably Nightmare Before Christmas. I did grow up watching that one, and that's just kind of a classic. And I love, oh my gosh, I love the Haunted Mansion holiday version of the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, and they have the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. It is just so cool. I love that so much. So I'd say for like that, I'd say Nightmare Before Christmas. As for more of a scary movie, I'd probably have to say Trick or Treat, because that one is just a very, very Halloween-y movie. I don't know. It's very Halloween-y. It's got fun horror in it and comedy and all kinds of stuff. That one might be kind of obvious considering I dressed up as Samhain from Trick or Treat this year. But what about you guys? I want to hear what are your guys' Halloween movie recommendations, or your favorite Halloween movie you always gotta watch during Halloween? Let me know in the chat, and I will try to remember to actually look up and read the chat here. Oh, Grey Ghost Briars said, I'm about to start unpacking models. I just got back from a show. I love how it looks so far. Thank you so much. And I hope you had a fun time at the show. I hope you got some good placings and such. Or at least just got to hang out with some people and have lots of fun. And it's funny because I was trying to be very careful with the black here. And I realized that at this whole section here is black, so I don't need to be so careful with it. This is all going to be solid black down here. So I can just go right in there and just have at it. Hello, Magical Pony. And Rogue Wolf said, I sure hope we get live shows back. I know, I hope so too. I do miss them. It is hard trying to stay safe, but then you also want to go out and do different fun things and such. Grey Gross Breyer said in Pennsylvania we have quite a few. That is awesome. Sounds like it's a lot of fun. Thea Pedersen said, I like Halloween so much. I do too. I love Halloween. It's definitely my favorite holiday. I'm also very sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I am very bad at pronouncing names. I still mess up on all kinds of different names for Briars and stuff. I can never get their names right for some reason. Star Warrior Horse said, as for a Halloween-based movie, probably Monster House. For a comedy thriller, the 1999 version of The Mummy. Oh my gosh, I love The Mummy, the 1999 version of it. Oh my gosh, that's such a good movie. That might be kind of up there in my maybe top 20-ish list of favorite all-time movies. That is a really good one. Have I seen Monster House? I don't think I've actually seen it. Even though I distinctly remember watching seeing the trailers for it a lot when it came out, but I don't know if I ever actually sat down and watched it. Grey Ghost Briar said, my 4-H club is doing Briars based off of holidays, and youngest to oldest. The other we choose was a little disappointed about Halloween being snatched right away. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that would be a little disappointing for sure. Thea said, me and my dad are going out on a Halloween event in Denmark. Ooh, that sounds fun. Let's see, where am I at here? I still have a little gravestone, a couple little gravestones. I'm actually not sure. One gravestone for sure here I'm missing, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And I I guess I'll start working on these little spooky tree branches. Or maybe, ooh, should I do, well, I need to do more blue, but I can't decide if I should just go ahead and add some black first. I don't know, maybe I should do some of the blue first on this before I get into the really tiny little details. Star Warrior Horse said Monster House is pretty goofy. It does look like a fun, goofy movie for sure. Magical Pony said, my first Briars were unicorns. I have so many figures and things, so I don't know where to put them. I understand. I am dealing with the lack of space right now very badly. Don't have anywhere to put anything at the moment. Eventually I'll get things figured out and narrowed down so I can, but it's just difficult right now. Rogue Wolf asked, what is the best type of paint to use? I honestly will admit I'm very cheap and I just use, well, this is folk art. I don't really use them as much. I use the Craft Smart ones a lot, which are like 89 cents or something like that at Michael's. But from what I've heard from other artists and stuff, if you're going to use acrylics, that Golden is a really good brand, and I have used Golden before on some things. So, like for acrylic painting is probably Golden. I could not tell you about oils because I've never done oils, but I know there's probably some preferred brands of oils out there. But yeah, I'd recommend Golden. It's more expensive, but it's definitely a better paint overall. I'm going to probably try and get some more of those to work with soon, since I'm going to hopefully customize more. I'll see how it all goes. Hello, Nora. And Seahorse Pony said, I love how your horse is so far. Thank you so much. Briarheart94 said horse is starting to look better. Definitely, it's starting to look, it's still in the ugly stages a bit on this part, but it is looking kind of more like it's supposed to look like. Ooh, I'm worried about using this, well, I will admit, I also get impatient Briarheart94 with the paint layers, and sometimes I go a little thicker than I should here. But it's like, I don't want to have to do 15,000 more layers on this horse. So I kind of just use a little bit thicker than I should and end up kind of just carefully doing it to make sure it doesn't look really streaky, but it is technically thicker right now than it should be, but I think it's going to look okay. This isn't really a detailed area on the model or anything, so it's not like the paint is going to cover up like hair details or anything. So I think I might be able to get away with doing a little bit of a thicker coat of paint here. Horse Girl said, hi, I can't stay because I'm at Taco Bell. Well, have a good meal at Taco Bell. Rogue Wolf said, did you prep the model at all? Came in late. I didn't prep it on the live stream, but I did do before. Let's see, where's I think the logos are usually on the bellies. Like I sanded off the logo on the model. I think I did like a little bit of sanding on the legs. And then it didn't really need too much else prepping. Oh, the ears are broken. I don't know if anybody noticed that. But yes, the ears on this model are broken. I got it that way at a thrift store. And I was originally going to like re-sculpt new ears for it, but then I decided I'm going to put like a little witch hat on it instead. So that is why it has broken ears, but those will eventually be covered up. But for prepping, yeah, I did a little bit of sanding, and then I did maybe 2 coats, I think, of primer on it. 2 like very light coats of primer, and that was about it for it. Didn't spend too much time prepping it. Bullet the Dumb Person said, I'm now making horns. My first attempt for horns failed, so I'm making new ones. Ha ha ha. Oh boy, I hope your new ones come out good. Horns are really cool. I like the look of horns a lot. Those are fun. Either on models or costumes or whatever. I don't know if anybody noticed that Jocelyn at Breyer was wearing some really cool looking horns during one of the workshops today. Those were really, really fun. Ooh, this is getting a little gloopy. A little gloopy gloppy. Getting a little too much paint here. Let me see if I can fix this part. It kind of like started to dry a little too quickly and got a little thick and gloopy. This is why it's good to do thin layers of paint. But I am getting impatient myself, so it is what it is. This is like for fun though. This is a fun horse. I'm not trying to, I don't know, you know, make a perfect horse. Just having fun with it. Thea said if you have purple, you can add it, that it could be cool. Yes, I am actually going to be adding some purple to this later, except I don't have any purple paint right now. I'm going to end up getting some purple metallic paint though and adding to this. I'll have to see how like my time is and stuff, but maybe I'll even do another live stream soon of doing some more work on this model. Ooh, okay, I'm like getting a little crazy here now with the thick paint. I need to not be doing that. It's getting a little out of hand here. Get a smaller brush into these littler areas. Okay, I think that paint is, we'll see how it goes. It's like drying really weird right now and doesn't even look like I put enough on, but we'll see what happens with that. That's gonna dry for a little bit anyway. Oh, and thank you for subscribing, Maria. Magical Pony said, I got a second of one of my unicorns I had. I want to do things with it, but I don't know yet. I can understand that sometimes coming up with the idea you want to do with your model is like one of the hardest parts. I have several model horse bodies that I like love the actual body of the model. Like, for example, I have like off the top of my head like a Cleveland Bay body that I've had forever, but I just can't seem to settle on an idea that I want to do for it. So sometimes it just takes a while to figure out what you want to do and stuff. Ooh. Alright, paint, you better look okay when this is dried. This actually looks like a lot darker blue on my phone. I don't know if that's what it really looks like. But it's kind of like a medium blue. It doesn't look quite so dark in person as it might on camera here. And okay, it is 2:04 right now. So I'm thinking I probably should start transitioning over to sculpting because sculpting takes a long time. And I kind of want this this whole area to dry really well before I try to paint anywhere else on it, I think. So let's start transitioning over to getting my sculpting stuff set up here. And I'm actually not sure what part of the model I'm actually going to be sculpting first. I'm still like trying to figure that out, but we'll see how it goes. Just kind of taking things as they are today. Ellen Kelly said, craft paint tends to dry more opaque. It just takes a while to dry because it's so fluid. Yes, indeed. And from what I've heard, and kind of seen myself when I used golden paints briefly, is that the golden paints, they you don't have to do usually quite as many layers with them. They look a lot better in general. So if you do want nicer paints, go with those. You don't have to be cheap like me and just buy the cheap craft paints at Michael's and such. Alright, I'm probably gonna have to take a very short little break here just to wash out my paintbrushes and get some new stuff for the sculpting stuff. But that should not take long, and we'll be able to start working on this funky little guy. Let me get the rest of the sculpting stuff going here. Oh, just a lot of different supplies going on. Oh, I just realized the cup is orange for Halloween. That's fun. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can get one more use maybe out of this wax paper. It's not doing so good on one side, but the other side is still pretty good, even though it's folding up really badly. Rogrove said I just got some Stablemate bodies, and I'm going to give painting on them with the inspiration from you today. Oh, that's awesome! I hope you have a fun time painting them. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and open up a fairly new thing of Sculpty epoxy stuff. I actually still have some magic sculpt left over from the workshop horse I'm working on. That's a whole nother thing. I'll do maybe another live stream on that at a different point or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and try playing around with this stuff. This is the Aves Epoxy Sculpt, but I haven't used this particular one before because this is the blue one. And I believe I only used the gray and maybe the white one before. The white one is awful. Don't buy the white one. It is like so sticky and icky and just, I hate using the white one. And I was having so much trouble with sculpting and didn't realize that the reason was because I just had the wrong kind of sculpting stuff. Alright, I'm trying to figure out which part to actually sculpt first here. There's like just so much to do on this model that it's kind of hard for me to decide where to begin. Because I'm basically going to be re-sculpting the whole face, which I actually might have to kind of redo some dremeling on the head, because like I need to dremel kind of holes maybe for the to put the eyes in better. But I need to like sculpt a whole new mouth here. I need to sculpt ears. I need to sculpt all the mane and tail. I think where I'm going to start though, because I've been kind of thinking about it, is I think I'm going to start with the actual body, because I'm trying to make it kind of look like it's skinnier than the model originally is. So I guess we'll just start there, see what happens. I'm just saying, I'm jumping into stuff here. I don't have I have a plan in mind of like what I want it to look like, but I don't have too much of a game plan or experience on how to actually do all this, but you don't know until you try, I guess. Oh, if I can get my gloves on. They're very tricky to get on. And I gotta make sure they're comfortable when I get them on, because I'm gonna be using them for quite a while here. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna first start off, I'm looking at like reference pictures right now. I think I'm going to start off kind of like with the hips. We'll start off in this whole area. I'll try to like do some like kind of bones sort of jutting out on the hips, I'm thinking. And then we'll kind of just see how things go from there. Maybe I'll start, oh yeah, and also I want to sculpt actually kind of up high on the back here, because I want to make the horse look like it has a really big sway back. I already did some dremeling down on this part of the back, so it's kind of got a sway back thing going on, but I want to like really emphasize that by adding clay up top here. So let's actually get to mixing some clay. And Thea asked, is it a Halloween model? This is going to be kind of a Halloween model. It's going to be a Kelpie, which is a Celtic mythology, a really cool water spirit thing that transforms and eats children, and it's kind of fun. Long history on the Kelpie. That was what people voted on as their favorite, or overall favorite kind of Halloweenish horse for me to do. I'm always really bad, by the way, about like trying to figure out exactly how much clay I'm gonna need here. I tend to overestimate by a lot, but then I also don't want to do like too much and then have to stop in the middle of sculpting to try and gauge how much more I need. Wildcat Equestrian 23 said, LOL, it eats kids, I should look out. Yes, you gotta watch out for the Kelpie. Especially in, I think they said like lakes are really, oh my gosh, that's a little too much clay, I think. Getting a little overzealous here. Yeah, Kelpies hang out in the lakes, so you gotta watch out for them. There's actually that one movie, Albine, the Enchanted Stallion, I think it's called. I actually really liked it. I know it's not like a really great movie, but that actually technically has a Kelpie in it, I believe. Sorry, I'll try to actually like move what I'm doing a little bit more on camera so you can actually see what's going on here. And that's gonna be too much, I think. So the only kind of not fun part about using Epoxy Sculpt is that you have to mix the parts, the two parts. That's why it's called two-part Epoxy Sculpt. So that's kind of my least favorite part, is you have to roll out the clay and try to find like the perfect balance between each part. I feel like I might have just a tiny bit too much of the hardener. That should be close enough. Schleichhorse Lover 6000 said, I'm traveling, so perfect thing to watch. Ooh, where are you traveling to? I love traveling. So it's like going on an adventure, it always feels like for me. It's fun. And for mixing the epoxy here, I know there's like all kinds of different methods to do it. Some people I think even use like, or maybe that's for a different kind of clay, but people will sometimes use like the pasta something, like some sort of pasta maker thing to like mix clay together and stuff. I usually just kind of roll it around and fold it over and just keep moving it around all over the place. Magical Pony says, does the Epoxy Sculpt air dry? It does, and that is the thing I love about it. It air dries and it's really, really tough. I've used some other air dry clays before that are just really not good after they dry. They break really easily. But epoxy is pretty strong, so it holds up well. And you don't have to bake it in the oven, which is good because if you tried to bake this in the oven, it would melt. So that would not turn out too good. Rogue Wolf asked, how long did it take to drive from your state to Kentucky? I believe it was about 3 days, I think. We ended up kind of having to do 4 because we ended up leaving later than we planned originally. But then I think when we came home, we were able to come home in 3 days pretty quickly. It's a pretty long drive, I will admit, but it was exhausting. It was a really exhausting drive, but it was fun. It's also not, well, my family's really used to driving to Washington all the time, which is about, oh, how long is it again? It's over like 1,000 miles. It takes us about 2 days, but we're like really used to doing that drive. So it was, to get to Kentucky was basically like double that. So it was a lot, but not like something we weren't totally unused to, at least. I think if we never had done a long road trip like that before, it would have been very, very exhausting and like, wow, that's a long time. But Ty asked, how long have you been doing sculpting now? I technically actually started kind of playing around with I think, well, technically since high school, I think is when I kind of first gave sculpting a try. I actually should show you guys. I made a really cool, well, it's kind of falling apart now. I need to find like the original pictures of it. But I made like a Tim Burton horse sculpture thing, and it was like, it's technically like an original sculpture I made, and it's actually pretty neat. Like even from today, I'm like, wow, this actually came out fairly decent. So I'll eventually have to post a picture of that on social media and stuff. And that's kind of, I think, the first time I really started like getting into like kind of a little bit into sculpting. And then I kind of got into sculpting for customizing, I want to say maybe around 2015 or so. But then I haven't really done too much sculpting since like 2015, 2016. So this is kind of the year I'm getting back into it. I probably have mixed this clay enough. Sometimes you do get like into this like zone of just squishing the clay, just, I don't know, just keep squishing it over and over again. But it looks like it's pretty well mixed here. Double check. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. But what the dumb person said, for me, it only takes me 5 to 7 hours to get there. I'm assuming to Kentucky. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's a pretty short time to get there. Road Growth asked, did you drive? I drove from Western Washington to Idaho, and it was very tiring. I did not drive because I believe at the time I technically couldn't be like on the insurance thing or something for the rental car. So my dad was like, no, I'm going to drive the whole time. And I was like, okay. But my dad doesn't seem to really mind it too much. He's usually like fine with driving all the time. But I'll probably do more. I'll be probably driving like half the way there though. Next time we go. Star Warrior Horse said, is this going to be a zombie horse? It's actually going to be a Kelpie, but it is going to have some zombie horse like elements to it. Like what I'm going to probably be working on today is making it look like a skinny horse and have kind of, not really bones like full on showing, but just kind of like showing through the skin. Kind of like a very, very skinny horse would. That's actually, I have a few reference pictures of like very skinny horses to look at here for this. Alrighty, here we go then. I'm gonna probably start, I guess, on this hip and just gonna see how it goes here. I don't know. This is kind of a new thing for me. I haven't tried sculpting like this kind of thing on a horse. I really do need some something to slick this up a bit though. I'm using rubbing alcohol, by the way. Laura Rocksmith suggested using rubbing alcohol instead of water for sculpting, and it makes a huge, well, not a huge difference, but I notice it does make a pretty good difference. Like it just smooths out the epoxy a lot more than just water does. Okay, so I'm like just scared to start because I've never done something like this before. Alright, well, just have at it though. Just gonna do it. I'm gonna kind of block in some areas, I guess. Just block in the different areas I want to start kind of working with on making more of it like sticking out kind of. And then so any areas that I don't want to have sticking out, oh, I have like tinfoil falling off. Any areas I want to have like still kind of like look low, I'm just leaving the bare plastic and not gonna sculpt on top of. Probably should have used more sandpaper on the model here though to get it to a little bit more what do they call it? Make it have it more, oh my gosh, I can't speak. To make it so it has more tooth, so it's like easier for the epoxy to sit on and stuff, because this is a little bit too smooth still. But I think it'll be okay. Ooh, that might be a little too much there. It's not going to look like much for a little while here. It's just going to be a big kind of globs of noodly looking things. Okay, let's see. I guess I'll add a bit more kind of to the back here too. I'm just going to focus on the one side for now, I think. I'm going to get too overwhelmed if I try to do both sides here. And that might end up being a little bit too much clay. Again, I really honestly don't know what I'm doing. I wouldn't recommend like following along with me right now because I don't even know what I'm doing. It's a learning experience, but kind of a fun one at that. And I am actually going to be doing a video though after this model is all done, because I've already been recording like how I did all this so far. So I'm eventually going to post a video once it's done of how I did end up doing everything, if it turns out okay. Alright, looks like just a squid or something sitting on top of the model right now. Now, let's see. I'm trying to get into the habit of using sculpting tools and such, because I tend to just want to do everything with my hands, but that's not always the best way to do things. So I'm going to try and see what we can do with this here. See if we can make it start looking more like an actual part of the horse instead of this weird big old glob thing sitting on it. The good thing about this is it's a fantasy horse, so if it's not perfect, then it's not quite as noticeable as if you're doing a very realistic horse and it's not like anatomically correct and stuff. It's a little more obvious, but with fantasy horses you can kind of find ways to hide any issues with it and such. I'm sorry, I'm like hitting the camera. These sculpting tools I'm using here have like super long ends on them. Thea said you can look up a tutorial on how to make a Halloween horse. I'm sure there are a lot of fun tutorials out there on how to make different Halloween horses and such. There's a ton of great tutorials on basically anything on YouTube these days, which is so helpful. It's like anytime I have any issue, whether it's an issue with my editing program or just trying to figure out how to do something art-wise, there's usually always a tutorial out there on YouTube on how to do that specific thing. Alright, this is still looking like just globbiness, but we're just gonna trust the process, as they say. Again, we're kind of just in ugly stages like we were with the little Stablemate earlier. But I think this is going to be kind of the same thing, where it's going to be in the ugly stages for a while. And then eventually, towards the end, it'll start looking less ugly and more like it's supposed to. This is actually my, oh, I think I already mentioned it, but this is my first time working with this particular version and color of the Avers Epoxy Sculpt here. I'm not entirely sure if I like this more than the gray Magic Sculpt stuff or not. It is kind of crumbly. It's not sticky at all, which is nice, but I feel like if you don't like douse it in water or rubbing alcohol, it gets very, very crumbly. I'm starting to think I did put too much clay on this. So I might have to cut down on this whole part a bit. Ty asked, where do you get your clay from? I just get it from Amazon. I think there's a few other online stores that probably sell it. Unfortunately, most like regular craft stores like Michael's, Joann's, and places like that usually don't sell it. But you can definitely find it on Amazon. Sorry if I move out of the range of the camera, by the way. Trying not to do that, but it's sometimes hard for me to remember. Ooh, yeah, this clay is like very crumbly. Like I can see the appeal of it because it does hold detail really well, which is what people have said before is the reason they like it so much. But it is rather crumbly. So I might want to get the gray version of the Avers Epoxy or Magic Sculpt, possibly instead. Let's see, I'm looking for one of these little guys here, because this is too much here. Take some of this off. Got a little overzealous with the clay. The Star Warrior Horse asked, have you attempted sculpting on customs before? I have, and I've actually been kind of working, well, I've worked on ones like in 2015, 2016-ish. I started like a Orca horse. I didn't get very far on it though. I only like barely started the tail, and I eventually want to get back to that one and hopefully finish it someday. And I like kind of started a lot of customs, like I got them ready for clay, but then I never actually did clay on them. Like except for stablemates. I have done some stablemate customs where I put clay on them, but yeah, I've only kind of recently started getting into doing it. Hold on, let me see if I can grab my one custom here without blue getting on everything. So what kind of really got me back into it was doing the carousel workshop from Briarfest this year. And so I really liked being able to just kind of put clay on the horse like this. You didn't have to like, I don't know how to describe it, like you didn't have to work on actually reshaping the horse. So that's kind of what got me back into actually like trying to sculpt more and stuff. And this one's still a work in progress, and I'm going to like share more of this once I get it finished. But I'm really enjoying doing the carousel horses, and I'm probably going to do a lot more of those in the future. As for like trying to re-sculpt parts of a horse though, I have not really done that too much. This is a very kind of new process for me, so that's why again I'm like, don't really follow what I'm doing necessarily right now, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just trying out different things, seeing what works, what doesn't. Just kind of experimenting. I'm pretty much a very hands-on learner. Like I learn stuff so much better when I'm actually trying to do it myself over like trying to just only watch someone else do it. So that's kind of what I'm just doing here, is mostly just kind of experimenting and seeing what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. Thea said maybe you can turn it into a squid. I was thinking of that. I was already thinking that if this doesn't turn out the way I want to do, maybe not necessarily a squid, but maybe something along those lines. I can do some sort of water thing going on with this, because Kelpies are water horses, so if this kind of doesn't turn out right, I'll just turn it into something else, or put a lot of moss on it or something. Emily Floof 728 said you use epoxy or malaput. This is the Aves epoxy. I have not actually tried the malaput stuff at all, but I've seen that people apparently really like using that. Oh, you poor little horsey, you look very, very funky right now. I think part of the problem is I just did too much clay right away. I should have built it up slower here. Yeah, I definitely just used too much clay, I think. That's kind of what's tripping me up here. I started off too big. At least I can always take away. That's kind of the fun thing about sculpting, is it's kind of easy to always add or take away. Which you can, of course, kind of do the same for painting, but it's a little harder to take away once you put a ton of paint on a model. Star Warrior Horse said, wow, he's so cool, thank you. And Wildcat Equestrian 23 said, what's your face model to custom on? I think maybe you mean favorite model to customize on. I don't really have like a particular favorite model yet, because I haven't been doing kind of really enough customs, I don't think, to really figure that out. But I do like doing classic scale the most. I've already figured that out. I like classics a lot because they aren't so tiny like stablemates, that you can still do a lot of details, but it's not quite as difficult trying to do a ton of teeny tiny details. but they're not as big as traditionals, so it's kind of a little, feels like you're don't have as much to do on them, if that makes sense. I want to do a lot of traditional customs, but I always just get kind of intimidated by them because they take a lot longer, I feel, and just there's a lot more to work with. Equestrian Roll 2000 said, I love your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And Emily Flu said, I use Milliput. It is a great cheap alternative to epoxy. Well, that's good to know. So far I've found epoxy is kind of expensive, but I feel like it does last a long time. Like, I don't think I've ever went through a full thing of epoxy. They take quite a while to go through it depending on what you're doing. So they can be a little bit of a little pricier investment, but if you're planning on doing a lot of sculpting, they can be worth it in the long run. But it's good to know that Milliput's a good alternative too. Equestrian 2000 said, I can't tell, is that a traditional or a classic? This is a classic. It's had its mane and tail removed and quite a lot of dremeling done on it already. And we'll hopefully start working on more traditional customs soon, but for now I think I'm going to kind of stay more on classic and stablemates and kind of work my way on, like, or at least for sculpting and stuff. Like, kind of get myself more confident in doing the smaller scales first, and then I'll start maybe working on more traditionals in the nearish future, hopefully, maybe. Saddlebrook Stables said, I just came back from my favorite Briar store for Briar Fun Day, and I got a Nasrudin and Bridge and Beltane. Ooh, awesome. That sounds like it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't have any stores near me that do the Briar Fun Days, but they always look and sound like a lot of fun. Or I guess maybe I one time had technically a Briar Fun Day, or it was kind of like an unofficial fun day at the old tack shop that used to be semi-close to me. We at least painted some stablemates, I know that, or they gave the option to paint stablemates, but not really anybody painted them. Alright, hold on, I'm gonna have to get a drink here, and I don't want to grab it with my my epoxy covered gloves here. Grey Ghost Breyer said, on the plus side, I went to a model horse show, and whoop, chat just moved up. Hold on, let me get my glove off and then I can read this stuff better here. Went to a model horse show today and got lots of ponies. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Saddlebrook Stables said, my favorite store is 1.5 hours away, LOL. Yeah, that's kind of what well, the next kind of closest Briar retailer to me is, I think, 45 minutes away. Well, technically not, because, well, hold on, let me get a drink first before I, like, talk myself to death. So, technically, I have a Briar retailer fairly close to me. However, it's about 20 minutes maybe. I think about 20-ish minutes away from me. And it's actually Knott's Berry Farm. They technically carry Briars there, but they have inflated theme park prices on their Briars. So they're like kind of just too expensive usually for me to justify going there and buying models from them. And then the other place that has Briars is like 45 minutes away or more depending on traffic, so don't go Briar shopping in person too much anymore right now. Question Roll 2000 said, same, I don't have any stores near me that sell Briars. I have to order them on Amazon. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a sad case for a lot of people I know, is just not having really any places nearby that sell Briars. Sorry, it's like very hard for me to scroll the chat here. Okay. Question Girl 2000 said, do you know roughly how many models you have in your collection? Sort of. I don't know exactly, and the thing is, this is kind of a big number, but it's partially because I bought that person's collection in August, so my collection like got a huge increase in models. My guess is maybe 3,000 if you would count like every little teeny tiny mini winnie to every traditional model. That's kind of the rough estimate I've been thinking, but I really don't know. It could be less than that, I'm thinking. I know it will end up probably being less than that after I downsize. But for the time being, I don't know exactly. That's been the rough estimate at the moment, though. Oh, I don't know what to do with this pony now. I think it's the clay thing. Just too much clay going on. Bullet the Dumb Person said, I have a tack shop that sells Briar near me. I'm a very lucky person. That is awesome. I'm so glad you have one close by. Star Warrior Horse said, I'm going to have to get off. It was fun tuning in, and I hope to join the Star Stable Parade if circumstances allow. Well, thank you so much for joining. It was good having you here, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow then. Thea said they have 5 Briar horses, I think. That's awesome. And I think I mentioned this on a previous live stream, I think. But in some ways, it's like I almost wouldn't mind having like a very small collection, like of just a handful of Briars. Because I feel like then I'd be able to actually really get to enjoy and appreciate like every single one. Because what did I do with my... Sorry, I lost my... Oh, I didn't lose it. I stuck it in the cup here. My sculpting tool. I don't know, like I like having a lot is really fun, but it's also like harder to really enjoy and appreciate every model. So I've been on the fence of like that idea of if it's really better in a way to have a small collection versus a large collection, and just kind of depends on the person too. That's why I say every collection is important. Doesn't matter if you have 1 Briar or 1,000 Briars. They are all good collections. Ooh, Grey Ghost Briar said they give us free mule medallions for me to paint. That sounds fun. Oh my gosh. I haven't painted a medallion yet, but that is something I'm going to be hopefully doing soon, because I do have a couple unpainted medallions I'd like to paint on some YouTube videos or something. Saddlebrook Stable says I have 19 traditional models and like 140 Schleich. That's awesome. Schleich horses are so fun. Alright, I kind of need to buckle down more here and try to figure out how I'm going to fix this model. Whether that's taking a lot more epoxy off here or just kind of trying to blend it more or something. I don't really know, but something needs to be done here, because this is just looking looking weird still. Alright, this might be more in the direction I want to go. I really do think I just kind of messed myself up doing too much epoxy at once. And I should have built it up a little more slowly. I am also just not sure if I really like this particular epoxy stuff or not. It's fine, but I'm not vibing with it. I don't know. I might have to go to something else. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this is like one of my absolute favorite copyright-free Halloween songs. It very much reminds me of like Star Stable Halloween and just kind of fun, silly Halloween times. Alright, I'm still not totally liking how this is going, but I like it better now than it looked a few minutes ago, so I will consider that progress. This also might look a little less weird once I get kind of like everything done and actually have it like sprayed one color. It will look maybe a little less like a squid is sitting on top of the horse here. Although again, if it does look like crazy super weird and I can't get it to look right, then I was already planning to put moss on top of the model, so I'll just cover this whole section with moss if I can't get it to look right. Although I feel like this is quite a bit better than it was. Although I want to build up the hip more up here, I think. Yeah, okay, I'm a little more satisfied with it now. I'm kind of digging it more. Sometimes you just gotta keep working at it and see if you can get it to a point you like. Alright, sorry I missed some chat here. I'll try to catch up real quick. Saddlebrook Stable said, do you guys think paying $100 was a good deal for Bridge and Beltane? I think so. I don't know what their current like value is, but that seems like a pretty good deal for them, I think. Pretty much I think paying like $100 or less for any special run nowadays right now is pretty good, because everything is crazy expensive in the general model horse market. Thank you for subscribing, Paul and Maria. Equestrian World 2000 said, how long have you been collecting Briars? Sorry for all the questions. Oh no, please ask questions away. It's like, the whole point of this is to kind of hang out and chat and ask questions and whatnot. So I technically started like having Briars at a pretty early age. I was like about 3 or so when my mom gave me a bunch of vintage Briars to play with. And then shortly after that, I also got the Breyer Spirit and Rain Classic set. And I played with that a lot. I remember distinctly taking that with me to restaurants to play with and stuff. I love that set so much. So I wasn't really collecting then though. I just kind of had them to play with. I officially started collecting in 2010. So that'd be 11 years ago now that I like officially started collecting and actually started really getting into it. And I kind of did again, like kind of collect some like Briar stuff before that. Like I collected Briar mini winnies before I even kind of knew what Briar stuff was really well and whatnot. But I used to kind of have like a collection, or I still do, but I kind of collect Briar mini winnies before then. And I collected Schleichs before then. But like I said, I was kind of still more like just playing wise for me though. I wouldn't consider I really started collecting until that 2010 time. Oh, Grey Gross Briar said we got a mountain goat at the Briar show. That is awesome. I love their little mountain goats. And thank you for subscribing, Icy Side 123. Oh my gosh, lots of new subscribers today. Grey Ghost Briar said he and the Appaloosa we got smell like smoke. Any tips to get the smoke out? Yes, I do actually know if, well, oh my gosh. I know there is some specific thing you can like put them like in a box with something and it'll help get the smell out, but I forgot what that like specific chemical or whatever it is. Not really a chemical, it's like a household item of some sort. Maybe baking soda or something like that. That if you like put that with them, it helps or something. But don't quote me on that. It's something like that, but I don't remember what. I do know that also just airing them out, like letting them sit outside somewhere for a while. If you have like a good space in your backyard or somewhere like that, you can just kind of set them out for a few days and let them air out. That usually can help a lot. I'm trying to think if there's any other specific things. Like I know there's some specific thing that you can put them with that helps a lot, but I just don't remember what it was off the top of my head. There's probably a thread on one of the Facebook groups somewhere about it. Alright, I'm not really sure how I'm going to build up this hip. I need to like look at my reference pictures better. That's something I recommend, by the way, whether you're customizing or painting or whatever you're doing, always have reference pictures on hand, because you may think you know what something looks like and then you look at a reference picture and go, oh, that was nothing like I was picturing in my head, or just what you picture in your head doesn't always translate as well. But then getting a reference picture really, really helps. That's something I for a long time didn't think was like correct in the art world. Like I thought you were supposed to be able to come up with everything in your head and that using reference photos was wrong, but that is not at all the case. Reference photos and real life references, all those things are super, super good. Okay, so what am I messing up here exactly? Trying to look at my reference picture. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely I have a case here of not picturing, or like what I thought was correct is not what's actually going on in the reference picture here. So what I think I'm doing wrong here is I just got kind of the whole shape of this back a little, whoops, I'm sorry if I'm getting out of frame there. This whole back is getting a little out of whack on the shape, so I'll try to see if I can kind of scooch the clay over. This is just such a process here. So So it kind of actually is more like a whole like ridge, it looks like, according to my picture here. And then we actually got like a little hip bone kind of popping out over on the side here. And it kind of looks like, oops, sorry, I'm getting out of frame again. Oh wait, I'm like, okay, yeah, so I see what I'm like kind of doing wrong here, I think. I have to just like kind of rework a lot of this. And the one bad thing about air dry clay is that it dries. It air dries, so I'm like trying to hurry now because I know the life of this is getting low. If I don't try to rush a little more on this, it's gonna harden to where I can't work with it anymore. Saddlebrook Stable said, who is your favorite celebration model? That's a tough one because there's a lot of good celebration models. I might have to say Oliver, possibly. Just because I love the real Oliver horse so much. I think he is so adorable. And I also just really loved Briarfest 2019. That was a really good Briarfest year for me. Well, for the most part. I was so tired and exhausted by the end of it, but other than that, it was a really good Briarfest. So I might have to say Oliver, mostly just for sentimental reasons. Equestrian World 2000 said, are you an equestrian in real life? Sort of. I do ride. I haven't rode in a little while, but I do Western riding in real life. Magical Pony said, I tried making horse stickers one time, printed them out, and sadly they were in black and white. Oh no. Printing things out can be kind of a hit or miss sometimes. I actually have a like decent color printer, but if you don't use like the actual color printing part a lot, it doesn't work very good. So I can't like really print anything in color right now because I haven't actually used the color part of it in a long time. Printers are kind of finicky like that. Saddlebrook Stable said, my favorite celebration model is Smart and Shiny. Ooh, Smart and Shiny is cool. He's a fun one. I wish I would have went to Briarfest during that year. That looked like kind of a fun year. Bullet the Dumb Person said, I still bring my Briars to restaurants. That's awesome. I love that. I know, I still like, I'll bring stuffed animals like with me to the movie theaters all the time still and stuff. And I say, you know what? Just do what you love. Don't care what people think. Okay, I'm still not quite satisfied with what's going on here, but at least it's, I don't know, it's looking like something. It'll look like something in the end. Whether that'll be a good something or a bad something, I'm just like freaking out because it is, the clay is really drying out here now. So I apologize if I'm not going to be reading the chat quite as much for a few minutes here. So I just want to at least get this to something I like a little bit more. And I got to work with this piece still. I like to be able to at least just get kind of the shapes, right shapes going. If it's a little rough, I won't worry too much about it because I can smooth it out a little better later. But I at least need to get the right shapes kind of blocked in here. This is a little better though, I feel like. Ooh, I'm making a wet, icky mess all over the horse here, but that's alright. Can always clean that up later or sand it or whatever. Do you think I made this hip bone a little too far back though? Alright, I am liking this shape going on at the top a lot, actually. Is it anatomically correct? Probably not, but as long as it looks kind of cool, I'm good with it. Okay, I'm liking the shapes going on here now anyway. And might need a little more clay up here, but I'm getting kind of that, more of that little bit sway back look I was hoping to get. I'll catch up on your guys' chat in a sec here. We add a little bit more clay up here though. Alright, far from perfect, but I'm kind of liking how it looks anyway. Like I said, if it's not realistic, that's fine. It doesn't need to be on this horse. As long as it just looks less weird and looks kind of a little bit more like it's part of the model. I'm trying to catch up on your chat. I see people talking about Thriller and Apparition. Saddlebrook Stable says, Stormy, I've watched your Briarfest 2019 experience videos like 20 times. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. Honestly, they are, I think they're my favorite like experience videos I've ever made. And I spent a really long time like editing them and just had a great time editing them. So I'm glad they're fun. Grey Ghost Briars said my favorite celebration is Oliver. Asmer Games said, what clay are you using? I am using Epoxy Sculpt. Abe's Epoxy Sculpt, which you can move you out of the way. Which is on Amazon and I believe some other online craft stores. I'm using the blue colored one, but the other recommended one is gray. Gray or blue are generally the ones that collectors and customizers say is their favorite to work with. I think I'm going to prefer the gray right now. This blue one, like I said, it's okay, but I don't know. I'm not loving it like I thought I was going to. I'll see. I'll have to keep kind of playing around and experimenting with what I like. Haley also said their favorite celebration horse is Oliver. Grey Ghost Briars said, what's y'all's favorite auction model off the top of your head? Ooh, that's a good one. I actually do know mine off the top of my head, surprisingly. And it is the Forever Siege that was done like a really weird looking brindle thing. And like that's the only kind of auction, like only auction horse off the top of my head where it's like I kind of wish I actually would have been there at the auction and like would have bid on her or something, because I think she's so weird and cool looking. She didn't even go for that much compared to how much regular auction models go for. But maybe one day I'll paint something similar to that. Oh, Great Ghost Briars also said, or favorite raffle model. Raffle model I'd have to think about for a while, actually. I don't know what my favorite would be. And hello, Simply the Best. Oh, Haley said their favorite is the Dappled Buckskin Pinto Shannondale. Ooh, that one is pretty. Great Ghost Briars said, I really want Jackpot and Merlin and that Dappled Cleveland Bay I saw for auction in 2020. Those are all awesome models. Oh, excuse me. The weather's been kind of dry and windy lately, so my throat has just been kind of on and off here on being, like, it's been, like, the other day it was sore, and then now I feel like I'm going to be starting to cough a lot. So much fun having dry, windy air. Alright, so I'm trying to catch up here. Although, I'm kind of like freaking out though, because I need to kind of finish up with this bit of epoxy while it's still good. You can at least use it for quite a long time, but it does start to get harder at a certain point. And then it's like, while you can still use it, it's a little bit more difficult to work with. It gets a lot, like firmer, like you can still kind of sculpt into it a little bit and you get kind of a different feel when you're working with it, but just one of those things. I am kind of liking this now though. So I'm feeling excited. I'm actually liking what's happening here. I don't dislike it as much as I was earlier. Ooh, try to add some more clay here without destroying what I already did. I feel like working with clay is so much of just, oh my gosh, this is getting sticky, of just like working and reworking and working and reworking like the same areas over and over again until you get it just right. Because even on the other carousel horse custom thing I showed you guys a little bit ago, there was quite a lot of like reworking I had to do just to smooth that. I would like smooth it out and then have to go back in and fix this thing and then smooth it out again and go back in and fix that thing, and just kind of over and over again until you get it where you want it. Okay, this is, what is it about this that isn't quite right? There's something I don't quite like about this section. I'm trying to figure out how to shape it back into something I do like. And then the hard part is I'm going to have to mirror this on the other side. which generally I think it is better if you can work on like 2 sides at once, just because then you're more likely to get it more symmetrical and stuff. But I knew trying this whole new thing I haven't done before was going to be kind of stressful already. I didn't want to do both sides at the same time to add to that kind of stress. Okay, I'm not hating this. I'm kind of liking it. It is a little exaggerated, especially like how the hip bones come out here. This part I'm still not quite satisfied with. I feel like this section just needs to, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Just kind of even out a little more, I guess. Okay, this is something though. I'm feeling excited because it's something. And I think I might add a little bit of clay down here on, what is this? What is the scientific name for this part of the horse? Kind of like it's, not its calf skin, but just, I don't know, this part of its haunches. Because I feel like if I don't add a little something here, it's gonna look a little funky just having only stuff at the top of it. So I'm gonna add just like a little like something here, whatever is going on here in this reference picture I'm using. Kind of like a bit of a, sort of like a bit of muscle, or like just kind of make this whole area look a little bit, I don't know. I don't know words anymore. I don't even know it. It's 3:18. Okay, so I have, technically another hour for this live stream, or at least that was the time I put on it. Start working on smoothing this area out. And then once I get like this last little bit of clay locked in better and stuff, I'll catch up on chat. Really just want to make sure I don't let this dry for too long. Oh, I'm sorry, I realize I'm getting out of frame again. Like having to be very, can tell it's hardening because I have to be like a lot more forceful in trying to get it to smooth out right here, or to get it to get in the right shapes I want it. Okay, it's kind of what I wanted to go for. not really blended in super well. I think I'll work on that better in a minute. And I think I will add this little bit of clay. Let's see, I guess I'll also add this a little bit on here, and then once this is down, then I'll kind of let this take a break for a sec and just catch up with the chat and such. Ooh, this gets sticky after a while too, which is kind of, well, all of the like epoxy stuff and whatnot can get kind of sticky when it's like drying. Gets a little annoying. Fortunately, I don't have to worry too much about like the whole back section here too much, because it is going to end up having like a really big thick tail coming down. So I won't have to worry about anything in this back area not looking quite right. I do kind of want to smooth this whole part out. And I realize why I'm partially having trouble here. I think it's because I'm using too soft of the clay shapers. Let's see, I think I have stiffer ones here. One of these might work better. Yeah, it kind of works a little better anyway. Sometimes it is just easier to use your fingers though. Okay, I think I'm somewhat happy with this now anyway. I know it looks pretty weird right now, but I think once I like start building up other parts of the model too, like I'm probably going to build up the shoulders more. And the neck will get like a bunch of hair and stuff on it. So I think once I kind of start building up those things and also get the other side of it going too, I think then it might look a little less weird and a little bit more like a scary, skinny, kelpy looking horse thing. Alright, I'll try to catch up on chat now. And I'm going to be working on like this a little bit more, but I think I can let it dry a little bit and it'll still be okay. Okay, let's see. Where did I leave off here? Equestrian World said for Briarfest, I ordered around 6+ horses and spent over $200, but they haven't come yet. I'm part of an amino and stuff, and everyone's Briars have seemed to already arrive. What should I do? I would definitely recommend calling their customer service. I don't recommend emailing them, unfortunately. I've emailed them about stuff several times and they never got back to me. So definitely try and call them. And if you just keep trying to reach them through that way, and someone should be able to help you with it through there. Bullet the Dumb Person said, I really like the Gutzen Van Tikkelsil celebration model. He's a little bit basic, but I still love him. Oh, he is a really pretty model. I know when he came out, a big thing was, oh, he's just a glossy black horse, you know. People are a little like, he looks just like Goffert and this and that. But he is really pretty, though. I mean, any black horse in gloss looks pretty. So, I think he's very, very beautiful. Grey Gross Briars said they love Breyer, but the shipping quality's been not so good lately. Yeah, I know, I actually haven't had too many quality issues, but I know the shipping's just been not the greatest. Yeah, Equestrian World said I ordered 2 Briar bridles and they broke as soon as I opened them. I will admit, a lot of the Briar tack is unfortunately not very good. Even some of the older stuff I have, like stuff from the 2010-ish era, a lot of that is like starting to fall apart now. That stuff kind of lasts a little longer, but even now it's like falling apart on me. Unfortunately, a lot of the Briar tack is made like on the cheap, so it really does not hold up super well. Simply the Best said, how much would you have paid for that Auction Forever Siege? Well, the thing is, I don't think I'd actually spend the amount on it that it was, especially not at the time. I didn't have like money set aside for like a huge auction model or something. It sold for like a little over $1,000, which like today I still really wouldn't spend that much on one model, I don't think. But like that's still cheap for a one-of-a-kind auction horse, like in theory though, like overall. So it's like in a way I'm like, maybe I should have bought it, I don't know. But I didn't even show up to the auction thing. I haven't actually ever been to the Breyer live auction. I've always meant to go, but then like always something comes up and I'm not able to go over to watch the auction live. But like, yeah, like in the end, like I could commission someone to technically make a horse, like not exactly the same, of course, but just like in the similar idea, like just a weird looking Forever Siege horse. Bullet the Dumb Person said, I love the American Saddlebred Rainbow Horse auction model. That one is really cool. Haley said, what is your favorite mold to customize? I kind of haven't done enough customizing to really figure out a favorite mold that I like working on. But I think pretty much any mold that I like already, I think I'd like to customize. Like the Ethereal mold, Foundation Stallion, Emerson. Oh my gosh, I would love to do an Emerson custom. That is one I want to do a custom of at some point. Like maybe not a huge drastic custom, but some sort of really cool custom on the Emerson mold. I'd love to do that. Simply the Best said, my dream raffle model is Fields of Heather. Oh yeah, Fields of Heather. It might be one of my favorites actually, now that you mentioned that. I do love that model. He is so cool. Dragon Studio Williams said, I'm trying to sculpt a horse bowing and full looking around. And they're stablemates and they're rubbish. Oh, just keep trying. I know it's, that's a lot, trying to sculpt a bowing horse and a full looking around and stuff. It's not something easy to do. I don't think, I don't even know how I'd begin to sculpt like a bowing horse or a horse that's had like its limbs drastically moved. That's something I want to work on, but something I currently feel like I don't have the skill set for, so I'm kind of like slowly building up to being able to do that sort of things. Saddlebrook Stable says, I'm the only person who has realized Breyer has only sent out one of the Tractor Supply models. I went to 2 stores and only saw Cyan, and only Cyan is on the website. Yes, they, actually today during the workshop, Jamie mentioned that. She said, that they know that the Tractor Supply models aren't there yet, but I guess they're coming. They'll be there eventually. I have no idea though still what was the deal with that chestnut cyan model. I haven't heard anything else about that. And I'd love to know what that model was originally for. Haley also asked, what is your favorite color to paint? Again, I feel like I haven't really done, well, actually I do know what my favorite color, not exactly color, but my favorite, like, technically, I guess, horse color to paint is decorators. I love painting decorators. Basically, every model I've painted within the past 2 years has been a decorator, so you can probably guess from that I love painting decorators. Granted, I haven't painted that many models in 2 years, but I just love decorators. They're so fun. Gregos Briars said, I knew someone with Fields of Heather. That is awesome. Oh, and they found Tractor Supply stablemates, but no chase. Those Tractor Supply stablemates look really cute. Simply the Best said, you said you want to do the Bone Carousel Horse Custom also, right? I would love to see it. Yes, I am definitely going to do that. I think that one I am going to be doing as a traditional scale, and I'm not sure which mold yet, so I'm kind of keeping an eye out for which mold like really strikes me to do that with. But that is something I'm definitely going to do. That is going to be, ooh, so much fun to do. I need to start, well, once I figure out which mold I'm going to use, I'll start like also like designing it and figuring that out. I don't really have like a specific design like idea sketched out or anything yet. Alright, so I'm going to try and scroll down. I realize I missed a lot of chat here. Oh my gosh. Madison asked, how long have you been sculpting? Sorry if you answered already. I joined late. That's okay. I haven't, like, seriously been sculpting. I've done sculpting here and there for quite a long time. Like, I did some sculpting in high school. And then I started customizing around 2015, 2016. I did a little bit of sculpting on stablemates and stuff. But it's only been this past summer that I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take sculpting seriously. I'm gonna actually sit down and start working on customs and try to really learn how to sculpt and stuff. So it's been pretty recently that I've really been getting into this. Grey Gross Briar said, I got the Icelandic buckskin and 2 chestnut loping mare stablemates. Ooh, awesome. Yeah, next time I'll go back, I'll look for the chase. And Simply the Best said, will you live stream the process of the Bone Carousel horse as well? Most likely yes, and if I don't live stream it, I will at least be taking videos of it and then recording, working on it, and then do videos of it later. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, that I have done some videos already, like explaining and showing how I got this model to this point so far. Like how I did all these little grooves and did the wires and all that. So I will eventually have a video also like kind of doing an overview of the whole creation of this model. Saddlebrook Stable said, how old are you? Because I am trying to figure out your age with how long you have been collecting. I am currently 25, and it's weird because I still feel like I'm like, that's old. Like I'm like, how am I 25? That feels old. I still feel like I was like 13 when I started collecting. No, I wasn't 13. How old was I when I like started seriously collecting? I was around 13. I was 13 when I started my YouTube channel, so it must have been around 14, 15 that I, oh yeah, no, it was 14 because I started collecting 11 years ago. Yay, math! Yeah, it was about 14 when I started collecting. Oh my gosh, my throat is like getting really dry. This weather's gonna kill me. The questioner world said she said her mom gave her Briars when she was around 3, I think. Yes, that's also true too. I've technically had Briars like my whole life basically, but for seriously collecting, it was around, I was 14, around 14. Technically a little younger than that when I started collecting schlikes. Or like I said, I kind of collected them, but I also was kind of mostly playing with them, so I don't know. It depends how you define, like, actually collecting. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and now just kind of work on smoothing this section out. And at least got it kind of the look I want. The clay is still able to use the clay and move it around, so that's good. Just kind of work on smoothing the edges and making sure I'm happy with it before I let it completely dry. Don't think there's like really a lot of details I'm going to be doing in this anyway, because I am going to be putting moss like on top of a lot of the kelpie horse here, so I'm not too concerned with like trying to do, I don't know, like too intricate details on it. I think as mostly as long as I got the right kind of shapes going, it'll look decent. And Equestrian World 2000 said, how long do you typically spend customizing one horse? I know it depends on the model. Yeah, there's a lot of things it depends on. I will say, I think for like the stablemates I've painted recently, like for decorator ones, they take me, trying to think, because like my last one I did in February for the Nemo Pamo month thing. I don't know, maybe about 5 hours or so, possibly. And then like for the carousel horse thing I showed earlier, which I'll show again real quick since I have it here. This one's still a work in progress, and I think I've probably spent maybe also around 5 hours on it so far. But I'm still like only maybe about halfway-ish done sculpting. I still got quite a lot of sculpting left to do on it. So like for doing a sculpted horse, I think like sculpting is gonna, of course depending on it, would take at least, you know, at least 12 hours to actually do the sculpting and prepping and stuff, and then depends how long to do the painting part. Question World 2000 said, I gotta go. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Love your videos and good luck on your customs. I'm excited to see the finished product. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining. I'm glad you've been enjoying it. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Alright, we are actually getting close to technically the end point of this stream. It's 3:40 my time, and I said I was going to end at 4 my time. So I'm probably just going to kind of try to finish this part up, and then maybe we'll do a little bit more painting on the stablemate, and then call it a live stream. think this is part of the sculpting process where it feels like you're not really getting much done, but you kind of have to just keep playing around with the clay to get it so that it's nice and smooth. But it just takes a while to get to that point. I do at least have the shapes blocked in for the side. And I'm at least somewhat happy with them, so I will call that a win. Simply the Best said you will go live tomorrow as well, right? Battle of the Models and Star Stable. Yes, that is right. I have the times, I think the Battle of the Models starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe, and then Star Stable starts at 1 p.m. Eastern? No, when is it? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's, I have it in the channel thing, though. But I will be doing that tomorrow as well. And that will be a little bit more organized with the live stream. It won't take me as long to get the live stream all ready because I have all that stuff already ready to go and such. One thing I have noticed with this, oh my gosh, my phone. Something I have noticed with this blue stuff is it kind of smooths out, I feel like super easily. Well, it kind of gets these little ridges in it still, but it, like the overall shape and stuff smooths out pretty quickly and nicely. I don't know, I'm gonna have to definitely work with it more and see if I like this better, if I like the gray color or the Magic Sculpt better. Just keep playing around with it. Oh, I'm sorry if I'm getting out of the frame again here. Nope, I should use my brush here actually. So another good tip is just use an old paintbrush and dip it in water or rubbing alcohol, and then you can use it to not necessarily sculpt, but for sculpting you can use it to smooth out the clay and stuff, and even kind of shape it a little bit. Not too much, it's mostly just for smoothing things out, but it's very helpful. And also helpful when you really need to get a lot of water or rubbing alcohol or whatever it is onto your model. Or onto the clay, I should say. Wolf said, did you hear what Star Stable did to Rattle? They revoked her lifetime. It's so messed up. I did not hear anything about this. They also said this is already looking amazing, by the way. Thank you. Honestly, I'm really quite pleased with how it's coming out compared to how I felt when I started it. I felt like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is like way crazy out of my current abilities, but I'm kind of liking it now. And I really do think that once I get like the whole model built up with more clay and stuff, it'll look a lot more evened out and stuff. It won't look quite so strange. Yeah, it's interesting about the Star Stable stuff. I don't keep up with too much of the like Star Stable drama with different creators and stuff, but I sometimes hear crazy things every once in a while. Once in a while. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm saying. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of drama and stuff going on here. All right, I think I'm pretty good here. Just want to make sure the edges are all smoothed out and like the actual clay looks pretty smooth. I am pretty happy with the general shapes and stuff. And then this whole part will also get built up there, so it'll look a little less, like right now it looks like I think I did put like, I didn't really make this part very even, but I think once I get the other part built up, it'll look okay in the end. Alright, I think the thing is I feel like with sculpting too, it's like you just keep messing with it. You just keep saying, oh, well, this could be a little bit more smoother here. You could do a little bit that and this, and you can just like keep messing with the same area forever. But I'm gonna force myself to stop messing with it here and call it good for now. Because otherwise I will sit here all day and just keep messing with it. I eventually got to tell myself that it's good. You don't need to do anymore. Say it's fine now. You can stop. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna stop. So honestly, I think that was a pretty good start for our first day. There's about 10 minutes left of the live stream, so I will maybe quickly transition over to doing a little more painting on the Stablemate. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm excited. This is a whole new thing for me in terms of sculpting. I do think I might have made this part a little bit too big, but we're just gonna leave it. We're not gonna mess with it. Yeah, I'm excited now to see what I can do with the rest of it, and I think it'll look better too once I actually spray it and primer and then like prep it and stuff. I think it'll look a lot more cohesive and stuff. So right now it's just one weird little section. But I'll go ahead and set him aside and then get our painting stuff back over here. If I can get my gloves off. There we go. Ooh, my hands are all sweaty now. I have realized that while you can technically work in epoxy without wearing gloves, the last time I worked with it, it got like super weird and sticky on my hands and I couldn't get it off very well and it was just driving me crazy. So I was like, all right, we're just using gloves from now on. But I am getting used to working with gloves, so it's not bad. I actually kind of don't mind it at all. Alright, little guy, we're going to set you over here to dry. Set that stuff out of the way. And just for the last couple minutes here, let me pour some water in here. Alright, I just used my own drinking water, but that's fine. And let's go ahead Let's see, what do we need to do here? Oh, this blue is still not looking very even. I was really hoping that it would be very nice and even, but it might not actually really show up on the camera super well, but it is not even yet, so I'm gonna do another quick layer of that. I was hoping to be able to do some more of the branches and stuff, but that's gonna have to be for another time. Wolf said, "That looks so good. Thank you." I'm glad it's kind of starting to come out of the ugly stages a little bit here. I mean, not so much for like the white parts that haven't been painted yet, but for the two sections I'm working on here, I think it actually is looking okay. Looking more like it's supposed to look like. This particular paint is very transparent. It doesn't, just takes a lot of time to build up on it, unfortunately. This horse's tail is actually going to be white, I think. It's either going to be white or black when it's done, but I'm just trying to get the, whatchamacallit out of here. Get the gloopy paint off. I'll have to be repainted completely later. Cara said, "I love the neck so much." Thank you. It is, it's coming good. It's actually, I think I'm almost done with this part of the neck, except for the mane. It's going to need some more layers and stuff. But I'm actually pretty pleased with it. Simply the Best said, "Is this Stablemate a mix of Halloween horses?" Yes, it is. It's kind of like a Frankensteed. If you've seen the Frankensteed model before, where he has like a bunch of different horse colors, like all kind of stitched onto him. It's the same concept, except it's Halloween horse colors instead of just regular horse colors. I think it'll look pretty fun when it's done, although it is just going to take a lot of work to do each of these little sections, because each one has quite a bit of like detail and whatnot in them. It's going to take a bit to get them all to be finished, but I think it'll be worth it when it's done. Alright, so again, I'm not going to be able to work on that area for a little bit because it's got to dry, unfortunately. But I do think I have some other areas I can put some paint down on anyway. Let's see. I'll pull up my reference stuff wherever I put it. Okay, there it is. Grey Ghost Briars said, "I got a Santana for $5 at the show." Wow, that's awesome. He has a few fixable rubs on him, but other than that, he is perfect. That is super cool. Cara said, "It always starts that way." Indeed it does. And Simply the Best said, "What a fun idea." Yes, if you love that kind of stuff, by the way, of like the horses where they have like different pieces stitched together, there's an artist called Nagrag Studios on Instagram and Facebook, and they have kind of a similar concept of stitching different pieces together, but instead they do it like with fabrics and make the models look like rag dolls, and they're really cool. They really developed this really neat, unique style that's just super fun. Ooh. Let's see here. I don't want to get too complicated, so I think I'm just going to go in with some black. Like, I think this whole leg over here is all black, so I'm just going to give that a coat of black. Ooh, my goodness. I'm whacking stablemates with paint and such. Sorry, little stablemate. Didn't mean to do that. The stablemate will be a lot more fun too once I get all of the other colors I need for it purchased at the store, so that way I can work more on the other areas, because like this is going to need some metallic orange up here, and I need like Nevermore's color, whatever her color is. It's kind of a weird, kind of brownish, like rose goldy, weird looking metallic-y kind of color. I don't really know how to describe her color, honestly. But I need like a paint that kind of matches that. So this stablemate will be a little more fun to do once I get all those paints purchased. Alright, well that was easy enough anyway to get one leg painted black. There's also going to be black actually on this leg. Is going to end up being like Calavera, but even though it's going to have a lot of purple in it, I think I technically need to paint it all black first in order to do that kind of spongy purple look on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that all up in black. I'm getting a little too thick on the paint here. Alright, there we go. Another black leg done. Doing black legs are apparently very easy. And then I have a bunch of, like, all the other little designs on here and stuff I gotta kind of like sketch out first. This is the hard part. And my blue is still not dry enough. And we actually are pretty much out of time here anyway. But, well, at least I got progress done on 2 customs. And that's kind of the fun thing about these live streams, is they're kind of forcing me to actually work on customs a bit. Part of me really wants to do this like a, kind of like a weekly thing, like once a week maybe, doing a customizing live stream, but I probably shouldn't say that, because knowing me, I probably will end up just not having the time or the energy to do that on a weekly basis, but I will definitely try and do some more of these kind of customizing live streams and whatnot. And I'll also be doing more videos too, like certain customs I work on, I'll try and do video segments of their process. Oh, Simply the Best asked what color will the head be on this. So I think for the head, I was kind of going back and forth, but I think for the head I'm going to do it like Thriller. So I'm going to do it kind of with the black and the gray, and then give the, make the eye like an emerald green and do all that kind of fun stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't completely been sold on that, but I think that would be pretty cool. So that's the plan for the head right now. Alright, now it is officially 4 o'clock, so I think I will go ahead and end this live stream, even though part of me is like wanting to keep working. I will go ahead and end it though, because I also don't want to completely wreck my voice since we have live streams tomorrow as well. And also the giveaway, if you haven't entered that yet, the link for that is in the description of this video. And this video will come up, I don't know when, but it will be up later on demand if anyone wants to watch it over again. Alright everybody, that is going to pretty much wrap it up. Simply the Best asks, cool, is Apparition Plan 2? Yes, he is. It's only going to be a little bit of him. I think it's on this leg. I'm going to do a little bit of purple. Do the like metallic purple and white and stuff on his leg. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm out of the thing there. But yeah, not too much of Apparition on this one. If I really like doing this, by the way, I'll probably do a few different variations of this kind of Halloween stitched together custom thing. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end it here then. Thank you guys so much for joining, and this was really fun. It was fun getting to customize with you guys. Alright, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys at tomorrow's live streams. Thank you all so much for joining, and have an awesome day. Bye everyone!